Hey, what is up YouTube, Araquanid here. Today for our Monday video we have a bug monotype team. My brother's team actually, I can't take credit for making this team. He made it. I made a few twinks to it to help it kind of adjust to more of the stuff I was fighting on the ladder. Didn't use this team in any tournaments. I'm not sure if I would really recommend it. A lot of the top types kind of beat down bug with fire and steel. But for the team here we have Forretress, Galvantula, Scizor, Volcarona, Mega Pinsir, and Crustle. As you'll see, we have three kind of setup Pokemon. This team is a really risky strategy, very offensive, that I wasn't really used to. It actually had four things I was set up. I switched Scizor over to a Choice Band set. It used to be a Swords Dance Roost set. At least it was a Swords Dance. I'm not sure if it was Roost or not. But then now for Forretress, we'll go over him first. We have Stealth Rock, Rapid Spin, Gyro Ball, and Toxic Spikes, and a Leftovers. So first, the Leftovers, you could argue Red Card over it, or that's just two main options, or those two. Maybe a Mental Herb. That's really obscure though. You don't see too many taunt users in. Monotype. However, Leftovers does kind of keep you healthy. I don't see too many people setting up with their first thing. A lot of people kind of leave their setup stuff towards the end. I know it can kind of usually help if you're fighting something that you know you can that's gonna set up Stealth Rocks. You can get a free Swords Dance, something like that. But most people don't lead with that. Usually they'll try to go for a killing move against Forretress. With having the 4x weak to fire, a lot of teams do run fire, with fire type being one of the most prevalent types in the metagame right now. A lot of dragons can run it. I've been seeing a lot of dragon types in the metagame as well. Even on steel team stuff like Heatran, we'll see Forretress as an obvious lead and has a good fire type move there. A lot of teams kind of counter the Forretress matchup. They don't need to rely on setting up in the beginning. They can just go and kill it, which is what usually happens. And also, as I said in the last video with Rock Mono, that the red card doesn't work as well as it used to, because more people know about it now, or are more aware to look out for something like that. His moves are pretty standard. You can switch out Toxic Spikes wherever you want, like our coverage move, something like that, or even Rest. However, he usually doesn't stay alive that much. He very rarely gets a chance to get Rapid Spin off. Rapid Spin support in this team is really important though. So if they have a pretty obvious Stealth Rock setter or like a Rock type team, you're gonna not need to, you can't lead with this guy because you're gonna need to send him in Rapid Spin to clear away hazards because your team can't deal with it. Got a cool motorcycle user over here. He's really cool, but I run physically defensive, 52 HP, basically plus defense minus speed. Up next we have our other kind of he's our special sweeper and also sets up Sticky Web. He also has Thunder, Giga Drain, and HP Ice. He has a few other coverage moves. You can run Bug Buzz on him, and then maybe like a different Hidden Power. HP Ice is like the best thing we have against dragons, and even though dragons aren't that good, you do see them quite often, so you kind of need some stuff that's going to counter them. Special attack investment with a speed nature. Go as fast as possible, get those Sticky Webs off. Thunder with the Compound Eyes is obviously the choice over Thunderbolt. That doesn't really need to be explained. But Life Orb, then you can run Sash as well. I know people used to run that. It just doesn't have enough power to really compensate for that. And usually you're fast enough to get off Sticky Web. You can't be using this thing against like Greninja, obviously. I'm not sure if Greninja, non-Ash Greninja, I'm not sure if it could kill without a Choice Specs item or a Z move. If it's like a Life Orb, I'm not sure if Scald would kill. Hydro Pump might kill, especially with Choice Specs. All right, up next we have Scizor. He's our last thing that's not a setup, or not a setup sweeper. He used to be a setup sweeper. My brother had him as a setup sweeper. Now we're running Choice Band Technician, U-Turn, Bullet Punch, Knockoff, and Superpower. Pretty standard stuff right there. All the moves are pretty self-explanatory. He gets a few other options. I'm sort of like Aerial Ace if you really need that stuff. However, as a bug type team, you don't really need a flying type move, and you already have Mega Pinsir for that. And then, other than that, Knockoff, pretty self-explanatory. Even though Psychic we usually beat already, Knockoff just a great utility move, and it helps check when you can't use your stabs. And Superpower helps against rock teams, with this team so against. It helps against steel type teams. Superpower is a really good move you can check against. Problem is you don't have too many cores to switch out into. Your only real walls are Forretress and Crustle, and they aren't even that super bulky themselves. They're not like a dedicated wall, so you got to be kind of careful if you're going to check Superpower to make sure you have a viable switch out when they switch something back in after you kill them. Alright, up next we have Volcarona, Life Orb, Flame Body. Sorry if my nose is a little congested, guys. Have allergies right now. Summertime's not too good for those. Life Orb, Flame Body. Flame Body can be super annoying to deal with, even though this thing's not super bulky. Even if it dies, if you get a nice, it's just see one of the fights it happens against me. Finding a different Volcarona. Flame Body is super annoying to deal with. Quiver Dance, Fiery Dance, Bug Buzz, and Roost. Obviously, this thing gets like HP Ground, HP Ice. You can also run instead of Fiery Dance, you can run Fire Blast. However, Fiery Dance still does 80 base power, so it's still pretty strong. Obviously, you're not going to run Calm Mind over that. Like I said, it gets Fire Blast, it gets Giga Drain. Giga Drain's pretty well used. Hurricane can work. It's a little bit more of a risky move, obviously. It gets Light Screen, it's not going to happen. And Psychic, you can run Psychic as an odd coverage move, but you don't really need Psychic, personally, in my opinion. And then for investment, I run standard, I run actually attack nature, because after +2 in speed, you're not going to need that extra speed nature, it's not going to matter enough. Speed's only relevant up to the point where you can outspeed everything, there's no point in having excess speed. Mega Pinsir here, Pinsirite with Hyper Cutter. Obviously I choose Hyper Cutter before. You can choose Mold Breaker, there's some like niche uses for that, like Sturdy and stuff. However, usually you're going to Mega Evolve right away anyway, so it's nice to have Hyper Cutter in case an Intimidate user comes out. Swords Hand's Quick Attack, Return in close combat, nothing out of the ordinary here. I'm sure he gets some other moves, he gets he gets weaker fighting type moves you can use, he gets Earthquake. You can run that. I do like running Quick Attack and Return. This team needs priority outside of Scizor, Scissor's Bullet Punch, and usually when you set up the +2, you're not fast, if you're 105, you're not fast enough you can outspeed everything, so having that Quick Attack priority, it's a big must against some of the more frail things. And then even with Quick Attack, if you get a +2, it's going to kill pretty much everything that's not a dedicated wall or that resists it, so Quick Attack is definitely a viable option on Pinsir. Then last we have Crustle, White Herb, Sturdy set. White Herb, pretty obvious here. You can choose Weakness Policy I've seen, you can choose Leftovers, something to help keep them alive a little bit. Maybe, I'm not really sure what else you could really run. You can't run choice items unless you're going to switch out Shell Smash. Earthquake, Stone Edge, and X-Scissor is your coverage moves. Gotta be careful with this thing. Even after the boost, it's not super fast. It's still going to be under 400. I don't run Nature in it because it's still going to have to be most of the metagame, and usually you can try to set up with Galvantula with the Sticky Web. This thing's more the late game sweeper. Actually, I kind of use this thing more earlier on because it hits pretty hard at 105 attack with Nature into it and all that. And as Earthquake and Stone Edge and X-Scissor, they're all very good choice moves to hit. You don't even have to go for Shell Smash, you'll still do pretty good damage with Inanimate Nature. And that's the teams, guys. Let's go into some fights. I have 5 fights for you guys today. Fought a lot of Fire-type teams, so you'll see me losing to some of those. And we have some wins against Dragon, and I believe a Flying-type team, which is also a bad matchup. So, stick around. Alright, guys, for our first fight here against Tommy Pickles. Great show, Rugrats. That is, we have a Fire-type team we're going against. As you can see, this is a terrible matchup for our team. There's not much we can really do. Especially since Torkoal sets up Stealth Rocks, and then Forretress kind of loses to most of the team anyway. Makes it really hard to switch out and get rid of the rocks. Makes your whole team really weak to it. And as you'll see, I make some decent plays in this fight. There's just not much you can really do. All of his Pokemon kind of hard counter Bug, and Bug doesn't really have that many options outside of Araquanid right now that can really kind of counter Fire-type teams. Even with that, the fact that Sun's almost always up almost gives you no chance to be able to use a Water-type move. Unless you're running like a Choice Band with Liquidation, or I think it also gets like Aqua Tail or whatever. I know there's like a different like Water type move you can run. That's generally a real other option on a Bug type team. They're kind of like limited on the amount of people they can use. Torkoal is the obvious lead here. I lead with Galvantula to kind of keep my Forretress alive. Go for the Sticky Web, he goes for Stealth Rock. Then we go for the Thunder, it's not going to take it out all the way. Kind of annoying, that's why even with Focus Sash, I guess Focus Sash might have been better there. He probably could have still burned. However, now as Torkoal's back up to 19, we go to Crustle, and here we go for the Shell Smash. I believe he goes for a Lava Plume again. Yeah, I think this is the fight where he goes for that. He goes for Rapid Spin, knock away this Sticky Web, which is kind of annoying. And I can't really get a chance without... Look what can Forretress Rapid Spin against on this team. Maybe Infernape if it drops in Special Attack, goes for an Overheat. However, Helms with this Focus Sash goes for the Fire Punch, takes us down to 4%. Gets the burn, of course. Like, even if that didn't happen, next turn he probably had Mach Punch or something like that. If not, he had Choice Scarf, Typhlosion, you'll see. This team just gets outclassed. Like you see, I go into my Pinsir to take the Infernape out because nothing else my team's fast enough to deal with it. Then he goes into Ninetales. I go for the return here. He makes a bad play, sacks off his Ninetales. He does set the Sun back up though. Goes into his Typhlosion, and this thing I didn't realize was Choice Scarf. I had to take a risk there. I'm not sure if Quick Attack would have killed anyway. And then he's able to just mop my team up here. None of my team can even get in against the Typhlosion and the Sun. Once he got his Sun set back up, he sacked off the Ninetales. Did a great job on that, getting his Sun set up. And I can't do anything against Typhlosion. There's no Bug type deck besides the Araquanid, which I should probably run this team. Didn't really think about that honestly until now, if I'm going to be honest. But this team struggles super hard against Fire and Steel. Even Rock type teams, they're not that viable. They do give this team fits as well, just because of the type matchups. But really, the Steel and the Fire are the ones you guys have to look out for. Alright guys, for our second fight here against BP Diodo, we got a Flying type team here. You would assume probably Charizard Y, it could be Charizard X, you don't know. Skarmory, which probably has Stealth Rock Spikes, or maybe it's running a default set. Landorus, Staraptor, which you would assume is Choice Band, Choice Scarf. Togekiss, which is probably just a general annoyer, could be the one who's running Defog. And then Dragonite, which is probably a Weakness Policy Dragonite set. Could just be Weakness Policy without, it could be without Weakness Policy. It could be a Choice Band set. There's a lot of different things you can do with Dragonite. As the lead here, you could assume either Staraptor if it's Choice Scarf. Easy you turn out into one of your walls. This team, Flying type is so diverse. Don't get me started. I want to make a Flying type team next. I think that's next Monday's video is probably gonna be a Flying type team. Landorus is a pretty good matchup. He's just super annoying to deal with. That's what I kind of figured he would go with. I live with Galvantula to kind of take care of that. I was faster. I guess maybe he thought I'll go for Sticky Web, but HP Ice obviously here doing a great job against that. I should have actually went for the Thunder here, so I wouldn't activate his weakness policy. I probably should have played a little safer on that one. Kind of surprised that it under half, to be honest. He gets a free weakness policy set up. Kills my Galvantula. We don't have Sticky Web set up. However, he gets a crit on the Crustle, gets on the 1 HP. I go for the Stone Edge. Couldn't risk him having extreme speed, which he probably had. I couldn't risk setting up Shell Smash. It wasn't going to work. Goes into Staraptor. White Herb activates. Doesn't really matter. Kills me with the Brave Bird here. Okay, he's either Choice Scarf, Choice Band. On the Forretress, get a chance to set up Stealth Rocks. He hard counter switches in the Charizard. Great switching on on his part. Unless he had like unless he had Defog on either Togekiss or Skarmory, that probably would have been a better play. However, it does kind of take out my Forretress. I went for Gyro Ball. And next turn, he's just going to take me out with the Air Slash. He could have probably went for Solar Beam to not risk that 5%. However, it doesn't end up mattering. Going to Pinsir here, Mega Evolve, Return. This thing's super strong. If they're not bulky in the defense at all, he's going to one-hit KO even without the Swords Dance. I could see you not running Swords Dance and then running like Earthquake or something. Here, I get a free chance to set up Stealth Rock, or set up Swords Dance because he has the default of Stealth Rocks. Kind of a misplay on his part, if you ask me. Not running Brave Bird is also a misplay on his part. He could have killed more base power and super effective. Would have been able to take out Pinsir, and especially after the especially after the Rocky Helmet damage there. He's able to take me out. He's running Choice Scarf Togekiss. Not something you see every day. I would never assume that in a million years. This is his one misplay of the game. Goes into Staraptor for the Intimidate, and then I still 2-hit KO with Bullet Punch. And even if I get a crit here, not really sure if this matters. I probably would have still 2-shotted. I don't think a Togekiss, unless it had Heat Wave or Flamethrower, wasn't going to take Scissor out. And if it did, I can go into I can go my next Pokemon, and he's not locked into his Flying type move. If he went for the Flying type move, he would have 2-shotted Scissor. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. So we have 3 more fights for you guys. Got another Fire type battle where I lose. Even more extreme hacks in that fight. So stick around for that one. Alright guys, this is an example of a fight just completely falling apart here. Again, kind of a typical, more of an offensive Fire type team. He's running Victini, his own Volcarona, and an Infernape. Oh yeah, last I had an Infernape as well. Fire type teams are so good right now. I can't seem to use them. I tried making a Fire type team, didn't work out too well. That was last week. I was going to have, instead of a Rock type team, I was going to have a Fire type team. Just couldn't get it together. I don't know why I was losing to it. He goes for the Yawn here against Crustle. I stay in, go for the Stone Edge. I'm like, okay, I can't switch in to a Torkoal with anything on this team. Just a bad idea. I do fall asleep, and I don't get lucky enough to wake up on either the first or the second turn. Gives him a free chance to set up Quiver Dance on his Volcarona. Goes with the Fire Dance to be on the Sturdy, and he doesn't get a boost there. He gets his hacks later in the fight. I don't wake up, of course I don't wake up. Couldn't, kill that. That would have actually turned to tie the battle. I would have actually been able to win if that would have woken up there. Go to the Pinsir, with a Mega Ball, Quick Attack, kind of have to, because after the second one, the Scizor, and then go for the Bullet Punch and finish it off. However, here's where the fight just pretty much ends up being game over. He gets Flame Body Burn on that, and he starts trolling. He's like a little kid, I think, because he's using, the Gen 1 sprite thing. Yeah, I'm an Ash, catch him. Or I'm a Red, that's what he is. But he goes with a haha, and then I say, as if this matchup could get worse, and I put like a frowny face, and he starts laughing. You can't see, I want to post a text in the chat because he does start cursing and stuff like that. Going to Galvantula here, missed the Thunder, and then that's where he's like ha ha ha, and then says some things I can't be repeating on YouTube. I'm trying to stay family friendly. But I go to the Volcarona here, and that's just game over. He's still the Fire Blast, rest my team down, take them all down, and then I go into Forretress. He's with the Fire Blast, gets me down to 1 HP, and guess what happens? It burns. Of course it does. So, not that it really matters. It's just, he's just like rubbing his, aha, it's so funny and whatnot. And then he goes for Solar Beam. He says it was a misclick. I don't think it really was a misclick. And then it's just stalling the inevitable. It's just a loss. I just want to move on and get to the next fight. And he's just taking extra turns, messing around, gloating about the easiest matchup in the world. Like, honestly, there's some bad matchups for, like, every type. Every type has bad matchups. This is probably the worst matchups in the game if you're not running Araquanid on a Bug-type team. Again, my fault for not running that, but, like, come on now. You have to gloat about it, man. Alright, for our second to last fight here against Poge, or Poge, not sure how to pronounce that, we have a Hydreigon, Goodra, Salamence, Garchomp, Huron Black, and a Dragalge. I've been seeing Dragalge as a lead pretty often. Kind of feel like that would be more of a switch-in option. I would always imagine, like, this thing is, I think, the Choice Scarf Salamence. I can imagine that as being a better lead, or even the Huron Black, or even a Hydreigon. Usually when the Garchomp's a great lead as always. I think with Forretress here, I'm not really worried about anything on his team. He might have Fire Fang on something. He goes with the Aqua Tail on Dragalge. It's kind of a weird set to be running, and then I get a free chance to set up my Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes. One of the few times this actually gets to happen. My Leftovers is keeping me relatively healthy. I go for the Gyro Ball here in case he switched into something like his Huron Black. I don't know, it's kind of like a wild predict there, because I'm like, he's not doing any damage to me. If I go for one Gyro Ball, it's not going to matter. Here's where I set up the second layer of Toxic Spikes. I want to make sure I have that up, because his Goodra can be affected by his Garchomp. and his Kieran Black. I like to get those all poisoned if possible. Goes into Hydreigon. I don't think these things get defog. I was kind of like, if he goes for it, okay. He just goes for the Fire Blast, so I checked Gyro Ball just in case he went for the defog and try to get it down a good bit. I go into Galvantula here, Hidden Power Ice, obviously it'll take that out. That's his first thing out of the way. Goes into the Salamence here, and this is where I learned that the Choice Scarf set, as he gets a kill on that. Obviously, since he's not Intimidate, he has Moxie, as you see here. Trying to sweep pretty early on. He misses a Stone Edge, which actually ends up being a pretty big deal. I go for the knockoff here, gets down to 3%, and then he goes for the Stone Edge, and see it would have two-shotted, and that would have been a pretty big deal, especially if the first one hit and critted. I don't know, I don't want to talk about that though. Goes into his Goodra here, gets Toxic on that. Goes for the Ice Beam, only does 19%, taking me down to 19%. Knockoff's going to almost take it out, knocking off his Assault Vest. And next turn after this, I'd actually be a little ballsy here. Go into Volcarona, and he's Thunderbolts, and he gets the Paralyze Hacks on that. So the fight's pretty much even, because he's down 3 things. My Scissor's hurt, and my Volcarona's about to die to the Scar Chomp, because someone's going to sack it off. A Paralyzed Volcarona is pretty much worthless. Bug doesn't get like any good viable healer or status cure, so you kind of, if you lose something to burn, like if Scizor gets burned, if Pinsir gets burned, something gets paralyzed, they're kind of ruined. There's not much you can really do to kind of patch that up. He's Choice Scarf Garchomp as well. This guy had 2 Choice Scarf users. I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. Go for the Bullet Punch here, just doesn't take him out. Earthquake will take me out as well. However, that will take out the Garchomp due to Toxic. And we can go into Pinsir here, and luckily for me, he doesn't go for Dragalge, he doesn't go for Kieran Black turn 1, so I get a chance to Mega Evolve here and Sword Stance. Okay, unless he Draco Meteors, which might happen, but he was more of a physical set because he's running Gunk Shot and whatnot, and he was running Aqua Tail and Outrage. I was like, okay, unless he runs like Draco Meteor, it's not going to take me out. I get a free return off there, and I'm like, okay, please don't have a 3rd Choice Scarf user, because that would have ended me, because I don't think Quick Attack would have killed. It might have, I don't know. We go for the Close Combat though, and that's able to take him out, so he didn't have 3 Choice Scarf users, he only had 2. Alright guys, we have one more fight for you guys, one more Dragon fight actually, so stay tuned and watch that one as well. Alright guys, for our last fight here against Samuel CC96, he also has a Dragon type team. I've been fighting a lot of Dragon type teams. Like I said, I'm around 1300 in Monotype right now, not too high, because I don't think I can be testing new teams every week. If I'm like up near 1500, I'll just lose every single fight and drop back down to here anyway. This guy has a Haxorus, Tyrantrum, Hydreigon, Latios, Garchomp, and Dragalge. Missing the Salamence was kind of weird. I was kind of surprised not to see one of those. Anything special in this set's not really. They're kind of like a standard Dragon type team. Haxorus is kind of out of place. You wouldn't really usually want to see those. Tyrantrum lead here, goes for the Fire Fang. It doesn't even take me down to Sash or Sturdy. Gyro Ball gets a lucky crit there, takes out Tyrantrum. Wouldn't really matter. I could easily switch on to pretty much anything and it would outspeed and take it out. Unless it was a Choice Scarf set, couldn't really tell. Flamethrower on Hydreigon obviously comes out. I don't get to set up anything else on those then. Here's where some like little bit of hacks goes against me. This fight could have easily been over. He goes for the Devastating Drake, takes me down to 19%. So I roost up here thinking, okay, he might just go for like the, he goes for a Dark Pulse, only does 33%. Maybe he thought he would just tank a hit and then go for a kill. He goes for the Draco Meteor, gets a crit. That crit does obviously matter. Devastating Drake only did 81%, and that obviously did more. And I wouldn't do as much, and I was boosted up afterwards. So I go for Shell Smash against Haxorus here. Actually, he switched into this. I'm like, okay, I can type anything from Hydreigon, and it's obviously not a Choice Scarf set, so he went for a Z move. I get a free setup on Crustle. I go for the Earthquake here against Garchomp. He goes for the Toxic. So he's running a Toxic, probably Rocky Helmet, Garchomp. Kind of more of a stall one, because he also goes for Stealth Rocks here. Sets up Rocks. Getting hurt by Poison a little bit. Now he's where he trolls a little bit. He switches into Latios, and obviously I don't do any damage there. So then he switches back into Garchomp, and I sort of predict this. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go for a Stone Edge in case that misses. I'll go for the X-Scissor. I'm okay if it switches back into Garchomp. I'll take the rough skin damage and won't die. However, I get a free hit here against Dragalge. Just kidding, he goes for Protect. This guy's, he did a really good job of mitigating the damage taken by his team, even though I had a +2 Crustle up. That was a really good job on his part. Kind of annoying for me to deal with, but you know, that's the whole point, is to try to like slowly whittle it down without losing too much of your team. However, he goes into his Hydreigon and switch out of his Dragalge. Kind of a mistake if you ask me, because now I could actually kill. If he would have just like let his Dragalge die, he could have won the Hydreigon and get a free Flamethrower. My team's in trouble then, because Scissor's going to go down to that after a Bullet Punch. Only one. I can go into Pinsir and Quick Attack. It might have been able to kill. Not really sure. However, at this point in the fight, since he did do that mistake, I definitely would have won. Galvantula can come in and easily finish off that, and Dragalge is no big real issue with Galvantula and then Pinsir afterwards. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Feel free to use this team. Let me know some criticisms of the team, some things to switch out. I know Araquanid is probably a good idea to switch out for something. More than 3 setup users. Not good to have all 3 of those. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I have a lot of other videos on Monotype. We're doing some more as well. Give me some advice. Give me some new suggestions for videos. I'm always open to suggestions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.